A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
High noon and welcome in to the Mason Crosby Show. Ooh, somebody's got a new background.
Yeah, I know we didn't. I had it up last time. We didn't talk about it,
I
but
missed
yeah.
it. You're looking fancy, brother.
I know. It's so official now. It's only a year and a half later. Look at what we got. If you're not watching on YouTube or Twitter, I have this nice. It was so easy, which was was excellent. I was like, oh my gosh, do I have to put this together? But no, it worked out well.
I love that. This is the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. My name is Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. Mason Crosby in the house. And no Thomas today. Mr. Charles Usen is here. What's up, Charles?
Doing? I'm doing pretty good. It's fun being here. It's fun being here a little bit early. I get to see everybody around. Like, I came into the studio earlier, and Rami was in here, Brandon, Josh, Tommy. It felt like I was actually a part of the team instead of being late, like I usually am.
Just rolling in towards the end of our show. Yeah, exactly.
Well, it is good to have you here. Mason coming off his day yesterday. And I know you were sharing with me a little bit. It wasn't quite as human as you would have wanted it to be.
Well, shifted days this week, just kind of a weird week. Tommy's, traveling around. So we thought it would just kind of keep the flow going well. I like to mix it up, especially now that it's off season, come in on Wednesdays every once in a while. If I will admittedly say I'm preparing for this golf event next week.
I was going to say Monday through Thursday. When do you leave?
I'm leaving Sunday night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the weather was excellent yesterday. So I did go and get some hits in on the golf course. You felt good. Yeah, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good,
ball
good,
striking solid. My biggest thing I want to work on is like chipping and putting because it's just the weather's been so bad. Haven't been doing that. So just, if anyone's ever wondering, practice does help. If you're concerned about what you're doing, if it's not going well, like take the time and put in the effort. It actually does work a little bit.
Well, speaking of practicing, pitchers and catchers officially reporting today for our Milwaukee Brewers. And I know that there's been a lot of talk the past few days, Caleb Durbin trade, of course, and what this team's going to do at third base, what this team's going to do, with their glut of starting pitchers and a lot of lefties now actually on the staff as they acquired two lefties in the Durbin trade. But Mason, I kind of wanted to ask you, and I know it's probably a little bit different for you because you lived in Green Bay, so it's not like you were traveling to training camp. But when August 1st came around or July 31st or whatever that opening day of training camp was, what was that day like for you walking into the building, knowing you've been around, but that had to have a little bit of a different feel to it, right?
Yeah, I'll try to paint a little picture of what that experience. Yes, like you're saying, mine was a little unique because I was just excited to have everybody back in the building. Like it was like, all right, I've been working out, I'm doing my stuff. And honestly, in that time of year, I couldn't kick at the facility. Like the whole NFL stuff between OTAs and minicamp and training camp, I wasn't like allowed to go and do my job at the facility.
Isn't that weird?
Like, I'll tell you, here's a funny thing.
Would you go to Bayport or one of the
I'll tell you exactly where I went. So what was great is I would go, it's summer in Green Bay, beautiful weather. So I would go and I would kick and run and work out. The Oneida Country Club right next to the pool had a really nice field. Okay. I had some soccer nets. I'd hit balls into that. And then I'd set up kind of my whole deal. And I'd kick while the kids were, swimming in the pool. And then I'd go and, hang out and we'd grab lunch. And I hit some golf balls and then, do my workouts. So I kind of maximized summer there in Green Bay. But I was usually by the time training camp rolled around, I'm like ready for everybody to be back. And I'm like, all right, now I get to go and actually kick on the fields that I'm supposed to be kicking on as a professional athlete. Like to me, that always blew my mind that I couldn't utilize the stadium or like our practice fields during the summer months.
That is very bizarre. He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. The Mason Crosby Show on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. What are some of the storylines you're watching as Brewers pitchers and catchers officially report today? Any dark horses you have for the starting rotation? But Mason, while you were kicking at Oneida, like, was it just did anyone else ever approach you like, oh my gosh, you're Mason Crosby, like, what are you doing kicking here? Or was it like everybody knew, oh, there's Mason, he's doing his thing?
I think it kind of became like that routine. I'd usually have some kids, they'd come out of the pool and they'd go and, shag footballs for me, or, I'd have them trying to catch balls.
That's fun.
We'd start throwing around. So yeah, it was a community thing. So it was fun, but kind of to your other point, like showing up to camp.
Yeah.
So it's like you get these, you kind of, you get those first day of school nerves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like the first day of work where you're going in, all this energy, all this excitement, and then everything just kind of falls back into place. Like I would say, like, especially once you've done it a few times, but it's like, all right, yeah, oh man, I'm so excited. We're getting back into it. And then it's like physicals, meetings, you're running. And then all of a sudden you're just like, and we're back. It's like, there's this fan energy. And then like you go to practice and that's another juice, like kind of a juice moment.
Yep.
And then you get back on the field and you're like, and now we're back. And you kind of start just preparing your mind for that stretch of time, right? Because it's going to be taxing and it's going to take a lot of energy and time. And you have to almost like build up to that regular season. So I think everybody, pitchers and catchers, I can't imagine in baseball, they show up and it's like, man, you can only throw so much. You can only do so much. Those guys are loving life. They're going out golfing, like hanging out, like, but it's such a cool moment of like, all right, we're back together.
Yep.
The chemistry starts forming and you're bonding and you're building that team for that season. So I do think that is like this time of year is probably one of my favorites, where you just kind of have all that hope, all that anticipation now is starting. And now we can officially step into, all right, what are these Brewers going to look like right now? And we can start seeing the results on the field.
Well, and we all know from last year, from the year before, from what Pat Murphy has built here with the Brewers, you use that word chemistry, Mason, and whether it's the power of friendship or whether it's pancake power or whether it's magic or whatever they're using at AmFam Field or AmFam Field South there in Arizona, like chemistry matters to this Brewers team more than many organizations across all sports. Like that, for whatever reason, that's been a big part of this franchise's identity.
Yeah. Do you think, like, have we heard anything and do you think we'll hear anything out of like the locker room or some from the teammates, like not having Caleb Durbin there, not having, Freddie Peralta, not having some of these guys? Do you think that is going to affect some of the chemistry, like maybe early, where they're kind of, all right, Freddie Peralta's this, like an older vet and he's a leader. Caleb Durbin, obviously an essential part of the team for last year. How long does that go where it's like, gosh, like we miss those guys. And then it's like, now we got to move into the next phase. Yeah,
that's a great question. And I think what we'll see is, I think most players like know what's up with the Brewers. And so they're used to different trades and people, even stars, coming and going as they get to that point in arbitration and their salary opportunities. I think you'll see some, whether it's pitchers or I think also in the Hispanic community of the Brewers clubhouse, which I know is very tight knit, that there will be like that Freddie's leadership will be a little bit missed there. But I think like this is a chance for a Contreras to step up where he's already a leader, for guys to step up there. And I think on the pitching staff too, I mean, they still have Woody, but then after that, it's going to be a conversation about how they fill that leadership void that Freddie had, every fifth day he's taking the ball. He's a positive influence on the entire team. Everybody loved him. Listen, Milwaukee loved him.
Yeah. The consistency there is like, that you can't pretend like it won't be missed, right? Like just like you had an anchor of consistency. He was going to show up every fifth day and be on the mound and give you good stuff, right? So now it's how do you replace that? But also, like you said, like in the clubhouse, kind of in between his starts, how did he affect that team?
Absolutely.
So, you and it's hard, I think, in baseball too, like during this preseason down in Arizona to like really get like a feel of like if there is some issue there or what is going on in that clubhouse. We won't know until 1st of April till they start getting into this thing. And is Freddie missed drastically, not being on the mound every 5th day, like his leadership in the clubhouse? Was Caleb Durbin, was he a piece that maybe we didn't even know about, right? Because there are some things where it's like you might not hear from somebody a lot, but they have this like glue that you just didn't even see, right? So let's hope that that's not the case. And now it's time for who's that next guy that's going to step up? Who's the guy that's going to fill that void?
He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nelson, a.k.a. Thunder. Charlie Uzid along for the ride as well. And you said it perfectly there, Mason, as Ron and Rome text in 414-677-1250 into the Nicolay Law Talk and Text Club. I wonder how the Brewers locker room is now that they realize you could do everything the team asks of you and be a Rookie of the Year candidate and then buy your toast. I didn't like the Freddie Peralta trade, but that was standard operating procedure. This was more shocking. And I think there's a little bit of that, but I think a lot of the Brewers also realize, like, A, it's a business, and anybody can be traded or released or whatever at any time. And I think there's also some of that excitement that new guys are coming in and getting to know them, and how can these, especially the two lefty pitchers, how can they help either right away or down the road? And yeah, Caleb's going to be missed, like, for sure. And I think we'll hear some of that. Like, we know that Caleb and Isaac Collins, both Rookie of the Year candidates, both traded during the offseason. That's going to have some effect. But I think, like, if you're a young guy on the Brewers, like, A, you view this as, now this is my opportunity to shine.
There's opportunity. Yeah.
And if I get traded, like, I get to go have it. Like, Collins is fighting for a starting job at the Royals. Durbin's fighting for a starting job at the Red Sox. Like, it's not like they're sending them to some, like, abyss. Like, they're still having the opportunity to compete at the major league level.
Yeah, and go into some really, storied franchise. Like, they're going to clubs that are, like, really solid in their own right. So, and then I don't think we can forget, though, like, what this team needed. It needed starting pitchers.
Yep.
It needed a lefty. Like, that is what the Brewers do. And they saw Caleb Durbin as like Red Sox wanted him, obviously. And it's like, here's an opportunity. Let's go get it. It looks like Harrison, from everything that Matt Arnold said, and it's like he is a prospect. He is a guy that, like, they were heavy on. He was one of the potentially best pitchers that that was out there, or like could have been available right now.
He was one of the keys to the Rafael Devers trade.
Yeah,
He's an all-star. I mean, dude's a legit all-star for the Red Sox and balled out for the Giants last year. I'm kind of confused why the Red Sox gave up on him. But again, like, almost like Quinn Priester a year later, like, if we can take a pitcher. Now, I know the Red Sox have like 9 starters also, so they're trying to deal with that. So they had the room, and they lost Bregman. So not that Durbin can replace an Alex Bregman, but he's that type of gritty, good. He'll probably play some third base and some second base for the Red Sox, but play pretty regularly. Like, Durbin's a nice guy to have on your team, and we all loved him last year.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to be curious too. You got like the Jet Williams from the Peralta trade.
They wanted to clear that for him too.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, okay, but so this team feels like, okay, we have too many of the same type of player. Let's kind of figure this out. It stinks. Again, like, no one's saying like it's not hard losing a guy like Caleb Durbin and what he did last year, but I do think this team is built where it's like that can kind of be replaced, and we hope to find some juice in some different spots, right? But these guys that step in, they're the ones that are going to have all the pressure on them, like coming in and trying. Don't go outside yourself. Don't be anything that you
don't try to do too much, right?
Yeah, don't try to replace this person. Be your own person. Create this new path that that we can all be excited about. So I'm excited to hear from some of these new guys, see what they're about. And then how do they fit into, because last year was friendship and magic and all those things. This year is going to be completely different. If we know anything from sports, if you try to roll it back and run it back, that's usually not a good recipe. You got to look at the team that you have built. Guys change even over the offseason. Guys change that have been in that building. and you got to really kind of like look at them. And that's what this preseason is about too. You go down to Arizona, you build a team, not just players on the field, on the diamond. You build a team, and you take what that team is, and you put that identity out for this season.
414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Talk and text line. We've got Dario Melendez from ABC 12 in Milwaukee. He's going to be joining us next. We've got Mike Jocko Jock's going to join us at the top of the 1 o'clock hour. What a win for the Badgers last night. The Badgers are a top 25 team. They should be nationally ranked. They got screwed in Indiana. They had a bad loss against USC on Conference Championship Sunday. So we all missed that game because we were watching the Conference Championship games. But they go to Illinois down by double digits, fight back, force overtime, win in overtime. So we'll talk about that with Jocko as well. Scotty Tiffany writes into the show. She says, not only the outgoing players affecting that tight-knit dynamic, but will the incoming players fill that void, cultivating that brotherly love? And I wonder, a question for you, Mason, like when a free agent, not that we all know the history of the Packers, not a lot of trades, not a lot of free agents, but every so often a trade or a free agent happened. How much due diligence was done by, whether it was Ted Thompson or now Goody, looking at the personal fit? Like, and we've all heard the stories of like when Andre Rison came and he took Mays on like a 24-hour trip to Atlanta and like got him all messed up. And Mays said it was the coolest trip he'd ever been on. But like, how important is it to do your due diligence or to say as your general manager, like, hey, we did as much due diligence as we can, but talent-wise, we need this to work regardless of fit. Like, how do you balance those?
I think, honestly, like the Wisconsin professional sports culture might even be unique to some of the other cultures in professional sports.
Yeah.
I do think that is really important because you're spending a lot of time like in a place that maybe you had never been, or you didn't choose to, go live or whatever. And it's like that locker room is so important. So you got to have people that fit into that culture right away. I think the Packers did it, especially that was Ted Thompson's biggest thing. I think Goody might be a little different. He's going to be like, all right, we're going to get, the talent that we think needs to fill. It work. And then, they all play ball. Football it's its own language. Like everybody can kind of like do their thing as long as they're playing ball and performing. So here's like the biggest thing kind of on a cultural side of thing. These new guys don't come in, don't try to like implement who you are unless you're just naturally like a comedian or funny and like you're just like that type of guy.
Right.
Play ball. Yeah, like the second you make an awesome play or do that, you're instantly like, there's just something about sport where everybody gravitates towards that. You make a great grab, you hit a homer, you do, you just show your consistency and you show your value as a ball player. And everybody's just going to be like, all right, now I'm interested in this guy. Like now we're going to have a conversation. I'm going to learn more because now they've shown what they can do on the diamond, on the field. And I think that is just a little inside, like, when new guys came to Green Bay, it was like the second they made a big play, it was like, all right, now they're here, right? And now we can get to know this guy in a sense.
Your play on the field can help build camaraderie, no doubt about that. Let's go to the Nicolay Law Talk and text line. Matt is in Madison. Matt, you're on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon.
Hey guys, after the Caleb Derber trade, I thought about this one, and I just want to let it off my chest finally. The Brewers are the epitome of the who's at first organization. Who's at first? What's at second? And after the Caleb Derber trade, I don't even know who's at third.
I don't know who's at third. You're right.
Next man up,
we will
I guess.
Find out. And that's, we talked about that a lot on the show yesterday. It's like, yes, there's a hole at third base right now, but it's going to get filled. Like somebody's going to be playing there, whether it's Ortiz or whether it's Cooper Pratt or whether it's Jet Williams. I don't think it's going to be Sal Frelick, even though he has taken ground balls there in the past couple spring trainings. He's too good in the outfield, but they're going to figure it out. Like they'll have a third baseman. The question is like, how does that all come together? And if you remember, we talked about this yesterday too, Mason, at the beginning of last year, Vinny Capra and Oliver Dunn were your two third basemen on the roster.
Yeah.
They didn't make it to May. Like,
exactly.
and things worked out.
Yeah.
Like things do work out for this team, Matt.
One thing I want to say, I've been banging this drum the entire offseason, is the Brewers have to get Zach Neto. I think it would fit perfectly, and there's 2 years. He's 2 years left. 2 years left at arbitration, and I think the finances, everything about it makes sense, and they should just figure out how to do it.
All right. I love it. Matt, thanks so much for the call. He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nelson, a.k.a. Thunder. Dario Melendez, WISN 12 sports director, ABC affiliate in Milwaukee, will join us next here on the Mason Crosby Show. Good to see you, Mace.
Yeah, good to see you.
This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon. I'm Mitch Nellis. He's Mason Crosby. Charlie using in for Tommy Wirtz today. Hi, Charlie.
How's it going?
There you go. Look at the gentle giant. Mason, Charlie's like 6'3", 6'4". Like,
I've met Charlie a few times.
Yeah, he's legit.
I think we even hugged last time.
I think we did.
I believe it. I would not mess with Charlie.
Yeah. I'm a nice guy.
Someone I would mess with, though I would lose pretty poorly as well to this gentleman as well. Sports director from Channel 12, the ABC affiliate in Milwaukee, joining us on the guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. The one, the only, my former double team partner, Dario Melendez. What up, D?
How's it going?
Oh, there you go.
Frog in the voice
good.
right there.
Nice. So, Dario, I want to jump in right away with how much you enjoyed Shams and the national media really loving all the trade deadline and Giannis reporting, because judging by your Twitter, you were thoroughly amused by this entire situation.
The problem is it's been going on for so long, and I know Doc Rivers kind of mentioned it afterwards when he breathed that sigh of relief. Like, it's like people are trying to manifest Giannis leaving. This has been going on since 18-19 after they lost to the Raptors. Like, Giannis is leaving, Giannis is leaving, Giannis is leaving. And look, maybe in 2029, he finally gets traded and Shams can do his victory lap. But it's like, at some point, this has to end. Like, all he kept saying was, I'm not going to request a trade. Now, look, this doesn't mean his agent has been sniffing around. And it doesn't mean the Bucks weren't listening to possible trade packages. I always say, look, I get calls all the time, cold calls for trying to buy my house. And I said, yeah, look, you could have my house for $3 million. If you're going to pay me $3 million, you could have it. If you're going to give the Bucks 8 first-round draft picks and 2 future All-Stars, you could have Giannis.
Right.
That's not realistic.
I love that. I love that so much. I mean, I think is that going to be when Shams like down the road, Giannis eventually is gone from Milwaukee. He's like, I told y'all. He just comes back. He's like, I told you he was going to be traded.
Yep, 100%. Like, he's been barking up this tree. And I think Shams Charania is a good NBA insider. I think he has connections everywhere. But for some reason, he's fixated on Giannis. And look, you got to remember, all of this started back in December because Brian Windhorst misspoke. He went on Cleveland radio and he said Giannis requested a trade, which he never did. He never requested a trade in the offseason. He had to backtrack the next day, but because Brian Windhorst said something, Shams then had to follow up. And because Shams followed up, everybody caught on. And then for a month and a half, we didn't hear anything. And then they just regurgitated what they said a week before the trade deadline because nothing was happening. Like, there wasn't as much smoke as people want to think. The only smoke that was out there was the smoke being blown up, or you-know-what.
Exactly. So what do you think then? Like, what do you think the path forward is for this Bucks team? I mean, do you think it's kind of one of those where they throw in the towel this season, try to like get everything that they can, see if they can keep Giannis as healthy as possible going into this offseason?
My understanding entering the season was that Giannis was under the understanding that this was kind of like a gap year. They were going to try to compete. They were going to try to see if they can make a push, but this was always going to be kind of a rebuild. Because once you get to the offseason, John Horst always tends to pull a rabbit out of his hat, right? It's Drew Holiday one year. It's Damian Lillard one year. It's Miles Turner one year. He has 3 first-round picks that he could trade. One might be a lottery pick. He has a swap-eligible first-round pick. He has a expiring Kyle Kuzma contract, and he has $20+ million in cap space. That's a ton to work with. I mean, you could go out and get some good pieces, and you just brought in Cam Thomas. Like, you never know. Like, he could be a good scorer off the bench. There are some things he can do if what Giannis is saying is true, that he wants to stay here and he wants to attract. There's things John Horst can do to put a team around him. Because when we look at the landscape of the NBA, is there any team out there besides the Thunder that really kind of like jump out as, oh man, this team is so much better than everybody else?
Just loaded, yeah.
I think there's a lot of parity right now, which is cool. That said, I mean, if what Shams has been reporting and there is actually smoke, I think you can get a lot for Giannis this offseason, because there's going to be teams that get bounced in the first round that think they were like one piece away from making an actual run. But my gut tells me John Horst doesn't want to be the guy that traded Giannis away. He doesn't want that to be his legacy.
I don't think anyone wants that for sure. Like that's
Fair,
that's going to be a tough one to swallow if that day ever does come. But do you think, you mentioned Kuzma being, on a last year of his contract? Do you think that is maybe some of the reason that he was not like a kind of viable trade option? Like teams were just like, well, they're probably going to move on from him. We'll just, kind of look at that in the offseason.
I think there's still too much left on his contract. Next year, when you only have 1 year of it instead of a year and a half, or if you're at the trade deadline and you make a half year, I think it becomes a little bit more attractive. It's just he's making so much. And the thing about Kyle Kuzma is he has all the talent in the world. Like Magic Johnson used to talk about all the time. Like this dude is going to be the next big thing. And it's almost like he's 2 years away from being 2 years away still, which is crazy to me. Like when he runs the point every now and then, he looks really good. But then there's games like the other night where he just looks like he's lost. And I just don't understand it. Like he has all the talent in the world. He has the size for it. He has the athleticism, but it's like putting together on a daily basis, on a consistent basis, has always been his Achilles heel.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, we were talking before you came on about Brewers, pitchers and catchers reporting to camp, and the excitement and energy going into this offseason or this preseason time there in spring training. Like, what do you think of some of the moves that have been made there, with this Brewers team?
I learned that you don't question Matt Arnold. I like Matt Arnold a lot. I got to know him a lot when I was on the Brewers beat because he was the assistant GM at the time, and they always put the pre and post game show hosts in like the corner. So Matt would always let us in his press box or his suite on the road. So we would just hang out and just talk shop. I think he's a brilliant mind. Freddie Peralta thing, I saw coming a mile away. It stinks, but you can't let what happened with Will Adames happen, where you just let someone walk and not get anything for him. Plus, you got some really good pieces in return. And the one thing I always say about the Brewers is their currency isn't monetary. Their currency is draft prospects. That's what they deal. The Caleb Durbin thing kind of caught me by surprise, just because they put him on like this press tour around the state. Yeah. He's really liked in the clubhouse. He was productive last year, but is Caleb Durbin replaceable? For sure. I mean, he batted .250, a couple home runs. Like
Dario, you can play third, right?
Yeah, bro. Right now, you want me to get you my Brewers fantasy MVP trophy?
Is that like the thing? Anytime baseball and like, could you go? Like everybody's
Mason, like the thought of throwing a baseball right now hurts my shoulder.
Hey, we played softball too. Dario, we've played softball together before. You can play third or short.
Oh yeah, no, I can play the hot corner all day, every day.
Nice.
The one thing, I don't know if the third baseman's on this roster right now. I mean, as I said, the currency for the Brewers is prospects, and they have a ton of prospects. They have a ton of pitching prospects. They have a ton of infield prospects. The one guy that like I've been kind of interested in for a long time is Paredes from the Astros. Yeah, all-star third baseman, still on a rookie deal, really cheap. I think he has a club option next year. And there's been talk that the Astros are trying to move him. Yep. And you know what the Astros need? They need pitching and infield depth. And you know what the Brewers have? They have pitching and infield depth. Is this going to happen? No. Am I going to pull another Miles Turner out of my hat? I think I was actually on with you guys when I was like, oh, I'd love for the Bucks to get Miles Turner.
Yep. And then like an hour later they did, and you called back in. You're like, what?
I told you.
You know, the Paredes thing is interesting, Dario, because there were rumors the Brewers were looking at him, like 2 years ago when he was a trade deadline deal to the Cubs. Then he left the Cubs and went to the Astros. And now that could come to fruition potentially.
Yeah. I mean, look, defensively and pitching wise, they're set. Like, I don't know if Jet Williams or Pratt or Amade or Pena are ready for the big leagues. I don't know if like you want to go into this season like, hey, we're going to try to get our fourth straight Central title, but we're going to have a left side of the infield that is Joey Ortiz and Pick. There's still some moves that I think are going to be made. I get down to spring training on Sunday, so I'm actually going to try to talk to Matt Arnold about that. But But yeah, I mean, it's hard to question anything he has done because he's been so calculated and he's been so ahead of the game with all of his moves. Example: how was Devin Williams last year, guys?
Not great.
Yeah.
Not great.
How was Corbin Burns with the Orioles, and then when he blew out his arm?
Right. I mean, the injury, you can't predict, but he was good with the Orioles, but he wasn't. But again, not great.
How was Willie Adames not re-signing him?
Yeah, he was the worst shortstop in the league for the first half of the year. He got better, but still.
And I like how was Josh Hader until last year?
Mm-hmm.
Like, look, I like all of those guys. It's just Matt Arnold has a really good feeling of when to get out of a situation.
Hey, I got to say something because Olympics are on my TV right now, and Stoltz from Wisconsin just set an Olympic record in the 1,000 meters. I don't know if y'all saw that.
Why am I on the wrong?
So awesome.
Yeah, that is
awesome.
What Dario, I don't know if we're allowed to talk about it because it's on a different network, but we all have Olympic fever a little bit.
I think Olympics are okay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get into hockey like big time this time of year. Like, I grew up in South Florida. The Panthers stunk when I was growing up.
Seven that made the Stanley.
But like our women's national team.
Yeah,
like
so good.
Layla Edwards has been so ridiculous. And then Britta Curl Salemi is the daughter-in-law of our helicopter guy, our eye in the sky.
Of course he is. Yeah,
that's so great.
Yeah,
yeah, of course.
So I mean, the fact that they put a beat down on Canada 5-0 yesterday was awesome. I was really into the mixed curling, mixed doubles.
Yeah, I know. Oh, that was so close.
I know
the Corys.
But I mean, yeah, Winter Olympics. I'm more of a Summer Olympics guy, if I got to be honest.
Oh, see, that's interesting. I brought that topic up to the guys earlier. I'm like, all right, which Olympics do people prefer? So that's interesting to hear. I get so nervous during the Winter Olympics. All of the skiing races, all of that, like that's something that I don't understand. It's like I've done, I've played sports at a high level, all that, but I'm just like, that is a different type of person.
You played sports at a high level? Come on, bro. I don't believe that.
Yeah, I've had nerves. I've had that pressure, right? Yeah, exactly.
I know that's
too dangerous.
But the double luge, like, what is going on right now?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I don't understand it. Like, I can appreciate it, but I don't really understand the physics of bobsled and the rules of bobsled and luge and downhill skiing and the half pipe. Like, I can appreciate it, but I understand track and field and basketball and baseball and wrestling. Like,
I relate a little bit more to the Summer Olympics.
More my wheelhouse.
They're like sports you can you can go out in your yard, you can go shoot hoops,
100%.
You can go run if you want, but it's like if you want to go and skate and ski and do all that, like you got to go commit to doing something like that.
For sure.
I love that.
That's how I feel
Dario
watching my
Melendez.
daughter's gymnastics programs. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I remember those youth gymnastics days. Oh, back in the day.
I'm always like, you did so good. And then she gets a score. I'm like, what the heck happened?
You didn't fall. I thought that was awesome.
I thought that was great. I want that judge's phone number. I want her address.
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
Oh, you're that parent. All right. We see what it
So, Dario, Mason just started this year coaching his 8-year-old in basketball. And we could all,
cats.
that's exactly what I said. Herding cats. Thank you.
God.
Dario gets it.
Except some of these other teams that we played. I'm like, how are these girls so much more advanced
They're cheating.
than
They're
my team? I'm like, how have they been? Like, it looked like some of these teams had played together for years, and it's just like, one of the guys was like, well, this is like our softball team in the spring, and it's like they were just a bunch of little athletic girls that just knew kind of what to do, in the sport. There was only one girl on my team that had played any sort of organized basketball. So honestly, we didn't win a game, but I couldn't be more proud of the steps. And I know you obviously say you have seeing them improve.
Oh, for sure.
It might be one of the greatest things in all of sports.
And seeing them get that urge to get better. Like my 8-year-old, she plays basketball, she plays baseball. She does gymnastics, and gymnastics was always something she didn't really click with. And then this year something finally clicked, and she's just taken off. And that is what I love seeing out of her. And even my 6-year-old, when she's playing her soccer and her sports, it's the moment it kind of clicks for them, I find to be awesome, because then all they want to do is that. Like, all they want to do is gymnastics. All they want to do is throw the baseball. And like, I could be exhausted, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not passing this up, because I only get like 16, 17 summers with them, which is crazy when you think about it.
You're gonna tear all our rip all our hearts out.
Come on, girl dad. Come on, girl dad. My girls, they're 15 and 13. So I don't even know how many summers I've left.
They're pretty foot out the door, Mitch. They're already foot out the door.
Dario, what is your number one priority for the Packers this offseason?
Health.
Oh,
bro, they're a Micah Parsons knee injury away from winning the Super Bowl. There's no doubt in my mind.
Write it down.
Like, there's no, like, the Patriots' path to the Super Bowl is the most laughable thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, they played 11 teams that had head coaches fired. They had the Jets twice, and then they had the AFC South. And then you get to the playoffs and you have a wild card team, the AFC South, and a backup quarterback. And then, look, I think the Seahawks were good, but turnover-wise, they didn't take care of the rock. They were one of the worst teams in the NFL at taking care of the football. Jordan Love and that offense was finally starting to click. Maybe Micah Parsons and Tucker Kraft away from winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't know if that team, how they, like, even with Micah at the end of that season, if they were going to go and beat Seattle in Seattle.
Man, Micah, man, like that's the one thing. Like, you go 0-5 in games he doesn't finish, which means you go what is it, 9 and I can't do math. 9-3 with him.
9-2-1.
9-2-1. I mean, I think he's the difference maker. I think they win the game in Denver. They win the game in Chicago. Maybe they lose in Minnesota because they probably have it locked up. They win the playoff game in Chicago. And then we saw what Sam Darnold looked like when he had to face Brian Flores' defense. I don't think the Vikings are much better than what the Packers can throw at you. I think this was a huge missed opportunity for the Packers in that fourth quarter, because they let the momentum spiral and they just didn't have anybody that could finish a game. I mean, maybe Rashawn Gary's the answer. Like, I don't know what happened to him. Didn't quarterback after Pittsburgh, which is crazy.
Yeah, not ideal.
So
yeah, I'm curious too. I'm just curious to who they bring back in this like free agency class, because it's Quay Walker.
Yeah.
It's Romeo Dobbs more than likely, is going to test the market and maybe get a deal somewhere. Rasheed Walker, there's some moves. In my mind, I'm like, Quay Walker has to be kind of on that priority list.
For sure.
Yeah.
He took so many steps. I thought he looked really good. He was matured so much over the past couple of years. And he really has become one of the leaders on that defense. And he's super athletic. But, I mean, to be honest, like I said, when you take a look, and I know, Mason, you weren't on the team when they won the Super Bowl, were you?
Yeah.
Oh, you were? Yeah,
I was
obviously. So you know the Super Bowl team, how many injuries you guys had.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
injuries aren't an excuse.
17, 18, but it was more the injuries to the caliber of player. Like, losing Tucker Kraft really hurts. Elton Jenkins hurts. Devontae Wyatt hurts. Micah Parsons hurts. Zach Tom. Like, those aren't just, like, fringe contributors. Those are your stallions, your workhorses.
Yeah.
You get one, like, you have a healthy Devontae Wyatt. Maybe it's different. You have a healthy Elton Jenkins and Zach Tom. You're running the ball. And look, remember, Josh Jacobs shouldn't have been playing after New York. Like, when he hit his knee at MetLife Stadium, he should have probably been sat down to get that thing healthy. I understand he wanted to fight through it, but a healthy offensive line, a healthy Josh Jacobs, and maybe a healthy Devontae Wyatt, this team is in the Super Bowl and they win it. But that's all ifs, and you know what they say about ifs.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Dario, thank you so much for your time today. It was great catching up. Hope to see you on the basketball court sometime, maybe. It's been too long.
It has been. I haven't played ball in like 6 months. I'm too into golf. I don't want to hurt myself.
Golf.
Oh, you're going to Arizona too? Oh, I'm jealous.
Not that I got a couple tee times or anything. Stadium course, here I come.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, Dario, thanks so much for jumping on, and we will definitely catch up with you down the road.
See you guys.
All right, that's Dario Melendez, sports director, WISN 12, the ABC affiliate in Milwaukee. Still to come, Mike Jocko Jock from Madison. We got to talk about that big Badger win last night. And, of course, we'll probably talk some Packers with him as well. As N. Conson writes on YouTube, girl dads are the best.
You know it.
That's, hey, you got two of the best right here.
That's
I mean,
right.
Dario's okay, but the two of us, I mean, we really know what's up. He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nellis, aka Thunder. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. This is the Mason Crosby Show. Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. Mason Crosby with you. Our thanks again to Dario Melendez for jumping on. Mike Jocko Jock coming up just in a few moments. Mason, I wanted to ask you this question. I don't know if you know this or not, but the Seattle Seahawks won the Super Bowl.
They did that, yeah.
The mayor came out yesterday and announced the plans for the parade.
Yeah.
And the Seattle School District made an announcement that missing school for the parade will not count as an excused absence. And I just want to say, like, how can you be so obtuse that, like, this, like, once in a lifetime potential opportunity? And I know Tommy's like, go to school and
go to school,
shut
kids.
up, Tommy. But like, I would take my kids out every day.
Sure,
all
but
day
why?
for
Yeah,
this.
why? My thought is that, like, why does it, like, the school district doesn't need to excuse absences? Like, everyone's going to take their kid out, whether like they're excused or not. Like, what do you get? What prize do you get for going to school every day? Like, I don't know. We should ask Tommy because apparently he never missed.
Right,
he was never sick. He never missed a day.
You got a sticker.
You get a sticker, yeah.
Sometimes you get a piece of paper at the end of the year. Like my elementary school used to do that.
That's nice. Yeah, no absences.
I think the Brewers actually. I think there's Brewers tickets in the Milwaukee area.
See,
but I think you get like a pair of Brewers tickets or vouchers. You gotta then go to the website and figure that all out.
It is just kind of it's goofy that like they would stick that hard to it, right? Like, okay, like just if you're going to the parade and like you tell us that, like that's fine, right? Like, I don't know why they have to put the no excused absence.
Yeah, I don't like it. I think there are things in life to experience that sometimes are more important than a single day of school. Is school important? Absolutely. Like, is succeeding in school? Sure, but I don't know, that vexed me a little bit.
These are memories that will last a lifetime. You take your kid to that and like y'all share in a moment like that outweighs like a singular day of school.
Seattle School Board, you're on Thunder Watch.
You're on Thunder Watch. Yes.
Nice. All right. Jocko's going to come up next. We're going to talk about the big win last night for the Badgers. They've now won a couple top 10 games on the road. They won at Michigan, now won at Illinois. They've got Michigan State coming up this weekend. It doesn't get any easier for the Badgers. He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nellis. It's good to see you, Mace.
Yeah, good to see you too. I love this comment that was in the YouTube channel. We got to get to that.
We sure will. This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon.
A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
Welcome in. It's hour number 2 of the Mason Crosby Show. I'm Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. Mason, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Yeah, it was a good first hour. So, excited what this one has to hold.
What do you got going on today?
Speaking of Tommy and schools being out, kids have a half day today. So
for what?
I don't know. It's just a teacher in service thing. And then, then we have Friday and Monday off too. So
that's normal for President's Day
weekend.
weekend.
Exactly. So it's midwinter break, but they do have a half day today. So I don't know. They're coming home. It's nice out. I'm just going to send them outside. We got some branches that I'm going to be like, hey, let's get that over to the fire pit. Let's get this thing done.
Oh, nice. Yeah. We got to get this work done.
Put them to work. Yeah,
absolutely. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I know there's a fun comment on YouTube that you wanted to get to real quick, Mace, before we get to our guest.
Well, I like this. What Tom E. Drow 8392 said: the Marlboro man's grandson wins the Super Bowl. America should take a day off. I thought that was great.
I mean, right? We should.
Why not? Right?
Absolutely. Joining us now on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law, one call, that's all. Our good friend of show from WMTV, not music television, but in Madison. He is Jocko. Jocko, what's going on, my man?
Oh, man, the first hour was so good. You want to bring it back down? You had me on the show.
I mean, we had
let's drag this baby back down.
We had Dario, so we were already pretty much in the gutter.
Hang on. Yeah, hang on. Bring me on. We're going to go right back up.
That's right. No, we were just in the stratosphere, so we thought we'd grab you along the way. It's
God,
we're just taking you with us.
Anytime I can follow Dario on the show, thank you very much. That's a good person to follow every single time.
I love it.
I love Dario. Yeah. I love Dario.
No, we all do. Absolutely. So Mike, obviously the Badgers are one of the best teams in America. They win at Michigan. They win at Illinois. They get screwed against Indiana. They should have beaten USC. They should be on like a 12-game winning streak. They're not quite there, but that just means they haven't peaked yet because they're saving it for March. How good is this Badgers team after that win last night?
Now that you say that, Mitch, they're the number 1 team in the country, right? They beat Michigan at Michigan. They beat Illinois at Illinois. They got screwed at Indiana, right? I mean, the all-time horrible job by the officials.
Yes.
Nick Boyd got run into by the dude with, I wish we could have done video, Mitch. I know you were going to send me the link. Everybody could have seen how beautiful my hair looks today. The dude from Indiana has got the all-time worst mullet. Like the mullet's not even done yet. Like, I don't know if the guy is still working on the mullet, but the mullet is ugly. Mm-hmm. And he's from Indiana.
Amen.
And he like tackles Nick Boyd. Like Nick Boyd is dribbling to run out the clock, and he knows he's going to get fouled. And the guy like gives him a shoulder, and Nick Boyd like kind of shoulders him back just to avoid getting hurt, and they call a foul. And John Blackwell, he pulls the chair, and the guy gets tangled up with his foot, and they call a foul with 2 seconds left. You can't call a foul with 2 seconds left for anything.
Garbage.
Not when the guy's out of control like that.
It's horrible.
Yeah, I mean, that was ridiculous.
All right,
it was horrible.
But let's talk about last night. What
a
resilient group.
Like, this is the ultimate win by a Badgers team. I mean, like this is where you make or break your season. You're coming off that loss to Indiana that could put you guys, speaking of the gutter, like Dario, that you're like,
nice.
this could make or break your season, right? I mean, like you let that loss affect you, and you have Illinois at Illinois, and then you're coming back to play Michigan State at home on Friday. You have those 2 games coming up. How you pull this off, down by 12 late, and you somehow pull off this win at a place you haven't won at in 7 years, and you find a way you're resilient. You find a way deep down in your soul. Greg Gard, the silent assassin, finds a way with John Blackwell, Nick Boyd. Austin Rapp comes off the bench and scores 18 points.
Love it.
I mean, like they're just like they don't give up. I mean, like I don't like the fact that, you know, like they've had to come from behind and pull out these wins, and they almost come from behind and pull out that win and against Indiana but last night, like this is, you know, they lose that game last night, you know, who knows what happens. And we don't know what's going to happen on Friday night. Michigan State is a great ball club, and Izzo comes to town, and he's a great coach. But last night was, you know, if you lose that game and you lose 2 in a row of games that you could have, should have, maybe that could really put you in a dark spot. But for them to come on the road, and I don't know if you saw the video of, there was a kid with a wig on and making fun of Wisconsin, and then Greg Gard. This is a different Greg Gard.
I was going to ask you about that, Jocko. Like what you thought about his locker room celebration.
I mean, like this is not I've known Greg Gard for a long time. We're friends from St. Denis on the east side of Madison, St. Denis Church, and like this is not the dude that I went to church with. This is like he puts on that wig, and you know, like they're used to dumping water on him, but like I'm like, who's the guy with the wig? And then I forgot that I saw that. You know, I forget a lot of things now, Mason, that I should remember. But he puts that wig on. I'm like, what's he doing with the wig? And then I remember the picture of that kid, you know, wearing the wig that, you know, Wisconsin, whatever. And they find the wig, and he puts the wig on, and then goes in there and they dump all the water on him. Greg Gard's a different dude. And like to have them pull that win out, and God, that's just a great win. Nick Boyd, I think when we talked early in the season, I said, you guys are going to love Nick Boyd. And there was a drive he had a steal that kind of helped spark the comeback, but he had a drive and he throws it up off like the top of the glass and it falls, and just the spark that he's created. And I think that he and John Blackwell, I think they fight for points, but I think they're fighting like now, and like they found a way to fight like brothers in a good way. You know how you fight with your brother, and, you know, like you're mad at your brother, and you're like, and you're fighting, and it's bad. But I think they finally have found a happy medium of like, let's work on this together, and they have found a happy way to make it a family, and we're in this together.
Well, Jocko, I'm looking at like the rest of their schedule. They have 7 games left in this kind of regular season. Michigan State coming up, obviously going to be a tough one. You know, what do you expect from this team going into this Big Ten championship? And kind of by the time this unfolds, is that Big Ten championship going to even matter for their seeding? Like, are they going to have to go make a deep run to kind of get one of those top seeds? Or do you think this team has that opportunity with 7 games left to kind of solidify themselves as one of the top teams in the country?
Yeah, I think you just keep plugging away at this regular season. You know, like that debate, Mason, has gone on forever. They've done really well in that postseason tournament for the Big Ten, and I just don't think that tournament matters. You know, like as much as everybody, you know, they've gone to that championship game, they've won that tournament, and I think it, you know, for me, it's like you make a run till Saturday and get the heck out of it, because, you know.
Yeah, especially if you're good. I feel like it can help like somebody that like there's a question mark. If they go and win it, then they're like, all right, like we'll put them in. But if you're a good team, it's like it almost can do nothing but hurt you if you if you go and then you lose the final, and then you've played a lot of extra games. You play 4 games and you're tired as hell from playing all, you know, too many minutes, and then you get a Thursday game and you're flying out to the West Coast. I think that hurt the Badgers last year. They were tired by the time they got to BYU last year, just playing so many games and getting beat up by, by the end of that Big Ten tournament, I just beating the crap out of each other. So, I think that you finish strong in the regular season for the Badgers, and they've got a lot of road games. I think they have 2 more regular season home games. So you just finish strong in the regular season, win, 2 or 3 in the Big Ten tournament, and then you rest and you get ready for wherever they put you, and then you go to work again. For sure. We got Mike Jocko Jack joining the Mason Crosby show, talking Badgers basketball, but I want to shift to football for a moment as we're talking all things Badgers. What do you think so far this offseason? What they've done recruiting, transfer portal. Are you excited about how this team is being built over there in Madison?
I like it. I think Coach Fick did a good job with the money they got. It's, I don't know, Mason. Every time I say it, the money they got, and the university's bought in, and
right.
it still sounds weird to me to say it out loud. And but I think that they have figured it out with what the Indiana, and that even sounds weirder, the Indianas of the world have figured it out before Wisconsin did. But Indiana bought themselves a championship, more power to them. They figured it out before everybody else did, and they got themselves a championship. But I think Wisconsin kind of found the way that everybody else is doing a couple years too late. But I think that Wisconsin has caught up. They have figured it out, and they have bought the right players. Again,
it sounds weird in college sports.
It sounds weird, but I think that they have spent the money in the right places, and I really think now that we're going to find out what kind of coach is, what kind of Coach Fick is, and I think what kind of coaches the rest of the guys they got. And I don't think that's a bet. I don't think Coach Fick would be like, well, what are you saying? I think now we find out what kind of coaches Wisconsin's have.
I love that comment.
Let's go.
I love that comment, Jocko, because now, there's no excuse, right? If you go and get the players that everyone expects you to get, and now you have all of that, and you have maybe the weakest, this is like New England Patriots week of a schedule that they're playing next year. If you don't perform and you don't win this year, then something has to move.
Because I truly think they've got great they got some great players coming in. And I think they've got some great coaches. And I think this is the year now you prove it to everybody else that we have, the Badgers have the right fit in Madison. And now it's time to go to work, guys, and prove that this is the right fit, that Chris McIntyre hired the right guy to run the right program here at Camp Randall Stadium.
Do you think that
I hope so.
Yeah, I saw this thing the other day, and just so you know, Colorado edged out Wisconsin for the biggest party school again this year.
Whoa.
Are they too focused on education over there in Madison? And that's kind of, pushing some of this, this success on the field away. I mean, that's what I've been hearing out in the world. It's just it's a hard school to get into, and the education's just getting too high, and they're not as concerned about having a good time over there.
Maybe because marijuana hasn't been legalized yet in the state of Wisconsin yet. So,
okay.
So maybe that has been pushing Colorado over the top. So
okay, there you go.
That's an unfair advantage that not that I'm agreeing with that. I'm just saying that maybe that's putting them over the top in the rankings.
Yeah.
I think that for some college students, of course, that's an unfair advantage for Colorado to have. But I still think that those people have not been to State Street on a Friday or Saturday night when it's rocking, or down to the Union Terrace and looking out onto the lake and Lake Mendota and hanging out there.
It is beautiful.
Hanging out at the KK on a Friday or Saturday night. So then I will say, there's some great people, right, that have gone to Colorado. I will not,
Jeremy Bloom. Jeremy Bloom.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. I can't think of any names offhand, but I know there's some great people that have gone there, and certainly, but it is a great school. So it's and a party school as well. So two great programs leading the charge for partying.
I've spent many a great week at the KK one night.
yes.
Right.
And you can't remember any of it. Remember any of it.
I remember. Do you remember when Pedro Martinez threw down Don Zimmer? Do you remember that Red Sox Yankees fight? I was watching that. I think that was the same day that the Badgers upset number 1 Ohio State in a night game. I think I drank straight from 10 a.m. until 2 a.m. that night.
And I'm proud of you for all of that.
Thank you. Thank you.
And let me say one more Badgers thing, as long as we're talking Badgers.
Yeah.
I had the chance to to talk to Mark Johnson, the living legend. We have the Olympics on WMTV for the next 2 weeks, and we're talking. We have an interview that's running tonight about the Olympics, and we wanted to get a shot of the medal, the 1980 gold medal. So I was at his house yesterday. He hasn't pulled out the gold medal. They had to find it in his house, and he takes out the gold medal. It's still in the case. He hasn't put it in a extravagant case. He pulls it out of this cloth, and he starts to get misty-eyed about it because he's talking about the gold medal and how only 20 players in the world have this medal. None of the coaches got it. He's starting to cry. I'm starting to cry. And I said, when's the last time you put it on? He said, it's got to be 30 years. So I said, would you mind? And he puts it on. And then I'm, starting to get goosebumps. Here's Mark Johnson standing in front of me, one of the most iconic games in the history of sport.
Yeah.
And he puts it on and he's talking, he's crying, and then he goes, Jocko, you put it on. And he puts it on over, I said, careful the hair, of course, but he's like, he puts it on me. He puts it on me. So I got to wear Mark Johnson's 1980 gold medal.
I'd freak
yesterday.
out. Mason, I would freak out. I would there's no way. I would say, no, don't even risk it. I want to be in a different room.
How did the weight of that feel? Could you feel the weight of the whole?
The weight of the Cold War on my shoulders. It was amazing. It was just top 10 moment. It was just it was pretty cool. So we're running that tonight. It should be online, but it was just cool to hear Mark talk about his two goals against the Russians. And he remembers them so vividly. I'm like, I can hardly remember, my kids' baptisms and stuff important, my wedding, stuff like that. And he's going down the line and where he put the puck and stuff like that. It's just it's pretty incredible. Every time I listen to Mark Johnson talk, it's amazing. So
I can't remember yesterday. Mike
What a
Jocko
moment.
Jock,
Yes.
joining us on the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon. Jocko, what's your favorite Winter Olympic event to watch as you guys are hosting it there on WMTV in Madison?
Well, with all the women's hockey players from Madison, there's 25 that have played all time.
It's like they're
from
all
the University of Wisconsin.
They're all Badgers.
They're all Badgers. So there's 12 current and former Badgers playing this hockey season. I call it with in the Olympics this year. So I'm watching it this year like nothing else. So and then Cole Caulfield got snubbed with the USA this year from the Badgers, former Badger.
Oh, come on.
So I'm not watching men's. I'm only watching women's. It's my favorite sport to watch this year. So it kind of varies on who's there, but it's been fun to watch so far this time around, and I'm totally cheering for the women's hockey team from the USA.
Well, you pretty much just have to watch the first period because they're usually up 3-0 to start all these games.
Watch.
They're just dominating right now.
It's an easy watch.
For sure. Well, yeah, and then we were just saying in the earlier, Jordan Stoltz just set an Olympic record in the 1,000-meter. So looking to probably go and try to take gold there. Another Wisconsin native, which is it's so cool.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
The Winter Olympics scare me. I just everything about it. I'm just somebody bones are going to break. Something bad's going to happen. The crashes are just so extreme on those, on those ski slopes. It's scary.
It is very scary. Men in tights.
Men in tights.
Nice. Well, I'll ask you this question because we asked Dario this question too. What is your number one priority for the Packers in the offseason?
That's a great question, right? That's going through the offseason. I mean, working well through the draft, stabilizing that offensive line, and I think and the defensive backfield, working somebody through the defensive backfield. I think shoring up the offensive line for Jordan Love, and then the defensive backfield. Those are my two top priorities in there and getting those two situations set.
Sure.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what moves they make if they try to free up some cap space, moving on from some players, and who they go to acquire. I don't see a ton of big moves in the free agent space, but the draft is going to be extremely important. Second round on for this year.
Yeah, it just like they're so close, and injury bugs, but kind of late, and it's not that far away, and I feel like they're just as good as the teams that were in the Super Bowl, and there were I still feel like Chicago's not as good as they were. They got lucky late in all the two games that they beat the Packers in. And
they won't be able to sustain what they did last year. You can't do that 2 years in a row.
So I just think you shore up a couple of things, and I think they're right there. And I think the Super Bowl is definitely a possibility. Where is the Super Bowl this year? In 2020?
LA.
Well,
it's in LA.
Los Angeles.
All right.
Yep.
We can do LA. We can all meet in LA and do it up, right?
Can we get rid of the California jock tax, please?
I will say though, the colors on
money.
the colors on the initial release, if we're into conspiracies and the script writers,
Bears and Jags.
were
Bears and Jags, baby.
Yeah, Bears and Jags, or it kind of maybe Denver and Rams. I don't know. I saw that in there as well. Right. So I don't know. It unfortunately I did not see a lot of green and gold represented in the initial one.
It's bullcorn.
I know it's
conspiracy. Let's just go green and gold all the way, baby.
That's right.
That's right. Awesome. Well, Jocko, anything special you're working on WMTV?
No, we're just working all day right now. We're working on that the Mark Johnson special that's going to air tonight at 10, and then it's going to be all over social media. Just like I said, it just what a joy to work and talk with Mark Johnson. An Olympic legend. It's just so cool. It's just to hear him talk about one of the most iconic games in the history of sports. Just can't wait for everybody to see it and to see him put that medal on. It was it was iconic.
I'm probably going to watch Miracle later today just because.
Now it's
front of mind.
Forget picking up the sticks with the kids. Put on Miracle.
Yeah,
exactly.
Tommy in Bayview writes in on YouTube. He wants to know how close to reality was Kurt Russell's performance in Miracle.
Talking to Mark, I think a lot of the hockey action, a lot of those guys couldn't play hockey worth a darn, but a lot of the stuff that went on inside the locker room was pretty close, and Kurt Russell did a great job.
Nice. That's always good to hear.
Awesome. Well, Jocko, thank you so much for your time today. We will definitely catch up with you soon, especially as we get closer to March Madness for our Badger basketball team. And as always, you're better than Dario.
That's what I love to hear. All right, love you guys.
All right, later.
Love you too, bud. That's Mike Jocko, Jock Sports Director, WMTV in Madison, hosting the Olympics. He's with the NBC affiliate there. When we come back, we're not going to dive deep into what the Bucks should do tonight and tomorrow night, but kind of big picture wise, what they're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
And as a member of a professional team. Because I don't know if people know this or not, but Mason Crosby was on a professional sports team for a long time.
I think Dario forgot.
Yeah. Well, Dario forgets a lot of things. Hopefully he'll remember it's Valentine's Day on Saturday for his lovely wife. But we and we'll talk about that on Friday. What it means when you're having not necessarily the season you want to, and how you prepare in a season already for the next season. We'll talk about some of those concepts when we come back right here on the Mason Crosby Show. This is the Mason Crosby Show. We were working through a quick technical difficulty there, Mason. I had to reboot my camera.
All right. I was about to jump in, but I
know.
I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
The music sounded nice.
We got you. A couple minor signings by the Milwaukee Brewers over the past couple of days. Yesterday, Peter Strzelecki. Totally got that name wrong.
I think you nailed it.
Relief pitcher. Former Brewer, back with the team. And today, just about an hour ago, Gary Sanchez, longtime catcher, backup, was a backup catcher with the Brewers 2 years ago, played in 89 games, hit 11 home runs. He's best known for back in 2017 and 2019 was an all-star with the Yankees as their starting catcher. He'll be a backup catcher. He'll let Contreras get a day off, and can also DH, can let Contreras DH. He had 11 home runs last year. 2 years ago, he had 19 home runs. Last year, he only played 29 games for the Orioles, so had injury issues, and the Brewers bringing him back. But again, no guarantee. I'm guessing that he'll make the team. He's got to make the team, but he can hit one out when he gets a hold of one.
Well, that's good.
So
good to have options.
Yeah, exactly. Tonight in Orlando, Florida. Mace, you headed to Orlando anytime soon?
I'm not.
No. When's the last time the family went to Disney? Have you done that as a family?
Oh yeah. Probably 2000. What was it? 2022, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I think 2022.
Who of your would all your kids be into a return trip? Do you think like Nolan and maybe Charlotte are getting a little too old for it?
I mean, Charlotte was just there with Molly over the week, and they loved it. Yeah, rode all the rides, loved every moment. You know, it shifts a little bit as they get older, but yeah, I mean, I love Disney. We just don't. Yeah, it's just not top of mind all the time. Like, hey, let's go do a Disney trip.
How jealous were the three youngers of Charlotte that she got to go to Orlando? Was there of that? Or
they didn't show it. They didn't show it. Okay. Yeah, I think they enjoyed their time with Dad at home. But
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I do think. Yeah, I'm sure they're kind of buying their time whenever they get the nod to go back. Maybe just take the three littles and go have a good time with them. I'll be like, Molly, it's my turn. I'm going to take the little ones. I'm heading over.
That would be a blast.
That would be pretty fun.
That would be. Well, the Milwaukee Bucks played in Orlando Monday night. They led by 3 at the half and then lost by 19. So that's good.
That's good.
Yeah. And now they're playing again in Orlando. So I assume they've stayed in Orlando. I assume they've hit up Disney and Epcot and United Kingdom, Animal Kingdom and all Universal and all.
Take
all
the families. I mean, that's a nice little time. You know, middle of February, just take everybody down, have a couple days out there.
They were 10-point underdogs Monday. They're 10.5-point underdogs tonight. Then tomorrow they play right back to back in Oklahoma City before they get ready for the All-Star break. And kind of my big picture question about the Milwaukee Bucks is looking at the standings and knowing where they are, knowing they are 12th in the East, knowing they are 2.5 behind Charlotte, who's won 9 of 10 and is absolutely streaking.
Yeah.
And that the Hawks, who are 9th, got better at the trade deadline. Like it's gonna be very difficult for the Bucks to make any sort of run here. If they lose tonight in Orlando's 7th, by the way, and obviously Oklahoma City Thunder, they have the best record in the NBA.
Yeah.
They lose the next two. What type of mindset do you have first as a player where obviously you still want to compete and there's, less than 30 games, but still, 27 games left is a big number. And then as like the front office and then as Giannis, as you're on the, you're hurt and trying to come back. And apparently you're close to coming back by all reports. And he's been working out. Like what makes sense here for the Milwaukee Bucks to how to approach the last couple months of the season?
I might be the wrong guy to ask that because, I was fortunate that I had a really good run there in Green Bay where we very rarely, I think only one season did I really know that we were done until the last week of the season, right? Mm-hmm. So, and that was my second year in the NFL. That was Aaron's first season.
Yep.
We went 6-10, and it was like I think we had 2 games where it was like, okay, like we're out of this. Now you can start kind of preparing for the offseason. But I think the mindset, what it shifted, we talk about resets all the time. And I think that's what it is. It's like, okay, playoffs might not be an opportunity. This season might be lost as far as a success of making the playoffs and having a winning record. Mm-hmm. But what can I do to either show myself for this team or the next team I'm on. So as a player, you have to be like, you kind of have to shift your focus. We're not focused on winning and like having a winning record or going to the playoffs, but now it's showing what kind of players we are on the court, showing the type of resiliency we have, how we're going to be viewed in the following season. So now you just look ahead, and it's a rare moment because, like, as an athlete too, you're always told process day to day, all of that. And these are those rare moments where now it's like, I need to be thinking about how I'm going to be viewed in this offseason and moving into next season. And that doesn't mean throwing in the towel for a player. It means I need to show something that is going to have value for this team or for another team, in this offseason.
So I also wonder, to follow up on that, Mason, like if you're Ryan Rollins or KPJ or you're the new kid that they just got from the Nets, Cam, or if you're Miles Turner, who signed a big deal during the offseason, or you're Bobby Portis, who turned 31 today. I think it's his birthday. It's either today or yesterday.
Yeah.
And or Kyle Kuzma, who might be on the trading block.
Yeah.
Like, how do you balance? I need to get mine. I need to get my game better.
Yeah.
I need to make sure my next contract or my next negotiation looks right with, hey, if the team plays better, whether we win or lose, like if the team plays better, I look better. Or do I miss out on an opportunity because I pass up on some shots or something like that? Like, how do you balance knowing you're probably not going to the playoffs with, I got to get mine, but also sometimes I look better when the team looks better?
Let's just say, a real reality in sports is there is never a mentality from a player that it's like they're tanking. Yeah. Like no player will ever tank a season. Okay. So that's an organizational thing. And if the Bucks or any team that has ever technically wanted to lose to get a better spot in the draft or any of those things, you literally have to just, you have to say a player's injured, take him off the field or the court. Like no player has a mentality that like, I am not going to play at my best so that this team or this organization can get a better player. Honestly, too, also potentially replace you. Right. Yeah, so there is a mindset, and there's going to be, you might see, yes, if they're technically saying like, all right, we're not going to get the playoffs. We're going to play, a style of basketball so that we can get a better draft position or, have all these things down the road. You might see more selfish ball. You might see guys trying to do things to, or maybe even change up how they play so that they can like try some things out, right? Like this is an opportunity. If I'm a player, I'm like, I'm going to try some things and try to stretch my game a little bit where I wouldn't have in the past because
like experimenting.
I want to stay within the structure of things. Yeah, exactly.
Experimenting, like
the freedom in that can be a positive, but then also that's a risk too. Yeah, you put yourself out there and it doesn't go well, and then now you're exposed as not the type of player that anyone expected you to be. So
right now, the Milwaukee Bucks would have the 9th pick if everything stayed as it was. The New Orleans Pelicans are 4th right now. Their pick through the Bucks goes to the Hawks.
Okay.
So the Pelicans have no reason to tank because they're not getting that pick anyway.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that all plays itself out. The Bucks are 1.5 games behind Memphis, 3 games behind Dallas in terms of losing to get to improve their draft position right now. And again, we'll keep our eye on that. Lots of weird things. We're so used to looking at the playoff standings and
exactly.
All right, are the Bucks going to be the 6th playing the Pacers at the 3? Are they going to stay out of that playing game? Are they going to be one of the top 3 teams that they've been over the past number of years? And now all of a sudden they're toward the bottom and it's not looking great.
Yeah, I think if they lose these games going into the All-Star break, I think the mindset as fans, and the only way to maybe enjoy the rest of the season is to kind of have a reset in your mentality, right? Like, yes, expectations should never change.
Can Giannis do that? Because
I don't think Giannis is going to change. And like I said, like players they will not tank. Like players will not take a seat unless you sit them down and say, you are done. We are not going to, put you out there. And then there's going to be discontent there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Giannis is healthy. the answer isn't necessarily putting him like sitting him down, but it is kind of changing the mindset. And I think collectively, from organization, from players, from fan base, you change the mindset of what type of basketball do we want to start playing moving to next year.
Right.
Like you just instantly shift to, this is the style of play that we're going to start working on for next year. And you just start that shift right now. And that kind of postseason, offseason starts today. And now it's like, all right, how are we building to have success moving into the following season?
414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Talking text line. 414-677-1250. Your thoughts on if the Bucks fall to 21-32 after the next two nights, what they should do. Should they experiment? Should they pack it in? Not the players, of course, but as an organization, how do you start planning to make sure you are back to relevancy next year? When we come back, Winter Olympics versus Summer Olympics. What's your favorite Winter Olympic sport? We'll talk about that during Mason's Extra Points when we come back right here on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon.
What's on Mason Crosby's mind today?
Now I'm thinking.
It's time for Extra Points, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis.
Tell me what's on your mind.
On the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon. We had a good little Wednesday here, a little change up. Charlie in the house. I'm on Wednesday. Like it's a whole new crew here. But
I liked it, Mason.
It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did want to ask Charlie a question
Sure.
from the last segment as well, because like I said, I only had that one really bad season. So as a Bears fan, how do you think they try to, reset whenever, their season is just lost after week 10 or 12?
Well, I mean, it's about resetting in the moment. I think that's what the Bears have done a lot of these past couple seasons. It's fire coach. It's have a change at quarterback. It's do all these little things in order to start that kind of early off season that a lot of good teams never really have to go through. But these bad teams, the Bears, the Jaguars, historically, they know how to go through this. They have a process and they start that when they know the season is lost. At that, if it's week 12 and they're 1-11 at that point, they got their bye week coming up. Maybe that bye week is just, you know what? Let's talk about resetting. Let's talk about what we're going to do over these next couple of weeks. And that's where we're going to be at as a franchise. This year for the Bears, I think that's even harder, having a winning season and then going into the next year and saying, how do we get on top of that? Because they don't have that historically in their franchise.
No, that's a great point. Yeah. And I was saying that earlier is like how the Bears won this year, all the game, like these tight games, all that, like they have to be talking about, we cannot sustain that, right? Another year. So like, they're going to have all these conversations of how do we find a way to win these games, not in this, stressful, like tense fashion. So that is a unique, outlook of how do you go into a season? We always talk there in Green Bay, like handling success is just as hard or harder than handling, failure and adversity. Because when you fail, you know exactly what happened. It hits you in the face. You know how to attack it. Handling success, it's you almost like have to remember and like dive in there. Like, what did we do that made us different and better in this moment? And it's putting in the work whenever whenever you are good. And it's like doing those little extras. Micah Parsons talked about it, at the end of the season where it's like, I am literally out in front wanting these guys to chase me and I am going to be the best all the time. These guys have to try to catch up to me. And that mentality is what it is whenever you're out in front and winning.
It's hard to get 53 guys to have that same mentality at any given point, especially if, again, historically, you haven't had that as a franchise. I think for the Packers, you can get guys to buy into that and buy into the history of that team and that organization. And I think that's a little easier than maybe, again, the Bears after one winning season. It's still hard to get guys that are coming in fresh to this team or with a new head coach in this situation. I think it's something that becomes much more difficult when you don't have that history to back you up as well.
That's interesting. Yeah, this is going to be a much harder offseason for Ben Johnson than last year was, right? Like the energy, the spark, the newness. It was like, all right, we're following this. Now you have to actually coach from a winning position.
Expectations.
That becomes a lot harder. Yeah, for sure.
It's a lot harder when those expectations are there.
Well, let's I did promise I want to talk about these winter and summer Olympics. And I've talked about it throughout the show a little bit, but like I said, the Winter Olympics scare me. Like it's just there's so many events that I'm just like, whoa, like it's unrelatable, right? Yeah, exactly. Those guys flying, like it's so fun to watch, but you're just on the edge of your seat all the time. I think Summer Olympics, you're like, I've ran forever, like I can't run like those guys, but it's like, all right, like it's more relatable. Like I can go outside and like do a lot of the sports that the Summer Olympians are doing, not at that level. Like everything in the Winter Olympics is extremely specialized. Like I'm watching like figure skating. It's like, no way I'm ever doing that. I mean, it's like
Mason,
that's insane.
Even gymnastics is like, well, everybody's kids grew up going to a gymnastics class or going to
it's like I can do a cartwheel.
But I never sent my kids to a half pipe party.
Exactly right.
Like and then in college we went to different kind of pipe parties, but that's never near the.
I know Jocko talked about that.
Yeah, he did. But you're right. It's like it seems, and everything's 80 miles an hour going straight down.
Yeah, like the luge stuff. Crazy. I mean, they're going 75 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous. So what's your favorite winter Olympic sport or like event?
Yeah. I mean, I love losing skeleton. Like I love watching them. I kind of want to do skeleton, but like slow skeleton.
Okay.
Like, if I could do a slow skeleton, I do that. I do think that the three of us and Tommy together, like if we signed up now, I think in 4 years we could make the bobsled team.
Yeah, I think we could kill it.
I think Charlie's in back. I think it's Tommy.
I'd be the driver for sure.
Oh, you want to be the driver? Okay.
Yeah.
So you go first, then Tommy, then me.
Don't
and
you
Charlie?
want like the heavy people in the front? I feel like I'm probably the heaviest in the group. Don't you want
I think
that weight
but
going
y'all got to
downhill?
be the pushers. You got to have
that's
pushers.
true.
Right.
Because I think I told you, like, so Johnny
I think you
Quinn,
want heaviest and one in front and one in back, and that's why Mason's in front and Charlie, you're in back.
There you go. Yeah.
Tommy
and then you got to have the driver. You know, they got to handle all the pressure. So you know, it's once everybody's in. Now it's just like
Tommy would tell us he could do it, but
Yeah,
Mason,
exactly.
you need to do it. Yeah.
Exactly.
I was giving Tommy some. I don't even remember what I was talking smack to him about earlier today, but just about like his extreme humility. And he's like on his way to like Door County right now.
I know,
He's
just wine sipper.
He's so important.
He is
It's amazing.
now.
I love it. I'm a little Tommy jealous right now.
Well, I was telling you too, like I think of what I can remember, and there may be, who knows, like there's probably a guy that would have surprised me, but I played at Colorado with Jeremy Bloom, and then Johnny Quinn had one season in Green Bay as a wide receiver, and then he ended up being on the bobsled team in the 2014 Olympics, which is
and
awesome.
Jeremy Bloom was like, that was a big deal because like
Super.
was he an amateur? Was he not?
Well,
like,
talk about today. He would like he wasn't allowed to play football because he
Right.
took money to be an Olympic skier. They wouldn't let him play.
Let's talk about that a little bit tomorrow.
I love it. Yeah.
Awesome. Steve Sparky Pfeiffer is back. He will be here. Hot stove coming up after that. Sparky's pulling double duty. He's back today, so we got to make him work more.
Make him work.
That's right. He's Mason Crosby. He's Charlie Usen. I'm Mitch Nellis. This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon.